Hello again, Johnny London here. Well, I've patiently waited out the worst of the weather here at Claydon Lock Flight, and it's a little bit better today. It's quite windy, which obviously isn't very good for recording the sound with this, but it's the best day. I think it's sort of going off the boil again a bit tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little cruise while I've got the chance, and where I'm aiming for today is Fenny Compton, so should be bins and water and all that kind of thing there, and there's only a couple of locks and then a big long stretch, so let's get on with that.
So today's cruise sees me heading further north along the Oxford Canal. I'll be travelling from halfway up the Claydon flight to just past Fenny Compton.
Well, the luck of the devil again for me. Just coming round the corner to the first lock, and there's a boat here with a very willing and able crew who are helping me through the lock. Fantastic, long may it continue. Well, that barely took any time at all.
More wonky Arnco. I carefully picked my spot as I came to rest against this. If anything, the curve of the bank helped. A couple of what turned out to be quite heavy gates.
Well, into the second lock, so not too bad so far.
Boat in lock, I've climbed out via the lock ladder and closed the gates. The fender is resting nicely on the board of the top gate, and I keep my eye on it as I begin opening the paddles.
I do believe we've got a little bit of sun for the moment. Not for long, but for the moment.
I open this heavy old gate, but there is no need to stop and close it behind me, as there is another boat on the landing stage ahead, waiting to come in. It's lock free from here on.
Actually, just going past a really nice spot to moor. They've got it all here, nice and open for the sun. A little bit of land next to the boat. Quite picturesque, actually. Very nice.
Someone's gone to quite a lot of trouble to make sure their camper van is level.
done one of those for a little while. I keep seeing that little boat everywhere. Drop me a message in the comments if it's you. Be nice to hear from you. This narrow on both sides now. I seem to be going through a bit that's got stone on either side. It actually is too narrow, regardless of any sort of overgrown vegetation, to get two boats through at any one time, and as I can see a boat in the distance coming along, I think I'm just going to get through here perfect. Actually, it widens up again in a minute. I just met that boat in quite a reasonable place actually, so it was quite well timed, but I said to him it gets worse down there. He said it gets worse up there as well, so should be fun. A little bit overgrown. I keep looking for somewhere to stop for a bit actually, because I want to set up the bow cam, do my sort of last little bit with that, but so far it's all just been sort of stone, drywall, stone type stuff on the banks, which I never like mooring against, partly because obviously you've got to get the pins out because it's just, you know, ground to peg into, but sometimes when you get those sort of stony bits, there's you know, it can be shallow and there can be rocks and things underneath, so hopefully I see a good bit I can pull in a minute and set the bow cam up and do a little bit of that. Of course, typically I haven't seen any boats the whole journey, and as soon as I get to the narrow bit, sort of like three coming the other way, but that's all good, at least it's not raining.
Finally, a bit of Armco.
That's the camera on the bow set up. Let's have a bit of that now.
Fenny Compton Marina.
Wouldn't you know it, I've just missed the boatyard by 20 minutes, closes at 4. I could have got diesel and I needed gas actually as well, which would have been handy, but not urgent, so I'll just hoil onto the watering point I think.
No sooner have I cast off than there is another boat coming. But we pass each other by with plenty of room. As I'm standing on the engine bay, I didn't hear a word that he just said.
He's having to reverse back in here because there's two.
Oh, traffic ahead by the sound of it. Time to hit reverse.
Yeah, so if you let him come back here,
I back up in order to let the oncoming boat back up. He'll need a bit of room. Reversing can be quite tricky. I'll just wait here on the Armco until all is clear.
Well, something of a log jam at the watering hole. There's a boat reversing up, so I've had to reverse up to let them reverse up, and then there's a boat in the watering hole and they're going to turn round, so this is going to take a while.
Throwing a rope is harder than it looks. As is reversing. They're doing okay. The other boat has finished winding and comes past.
thank you. You're welcome. I think if he's going to move forward, he might go into that space. I think he wants water, so he can stand here.
Finally, the coast is clear, so I set off. It turns out yet another boat is coming through. But we pass each other easily. At last, I've reached the watering hole.
Oh, I'm knackered after all that. Well, that's my water doing anyway, which is good because that was almost bone dry. And I think what I'm going to do is put a brew on, actually. Must be time. Well, I've been looking for the bins everywhere, and turns around about half a mile back that way, so where I stopped at the boatyard that was closed, but the map definitely showed them as being with the water, so I've taken one lot back down, but some other people waiting for the water, so I've shuffled my boat around and I'm just going to take the other load of rubbish, and then I can get moored, hopefully.
I found a spot and grabbed it.
Oh, I'm not quite sure what's going on here really. The bank, the water is practically up to the top of the bank here, and the bank's very muddy and horrible, so not ideal, but I just didn't want to go any further. I've been through Fenny Compton obviously, and there's some rings here, but I think you can just moor, and to be honest, I'll have a look tomorrow. I have a little bit of a walk up tomorrow, see if I can find a better spot or whatever, but I think I'll be alright for sun here. I'm not quite sure. I'll go in and see what Google says and work it out from there, but for today that'll do.